Hello and welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So over the past couple videos, I dedicate time to recap from the fundamentals of getting started building a consulting career, whether it is what are the tasks that a consultant does, conduct the research, analyze the data, and present the results, as well as how consulting success looks like. Well, you have cash flow based on the value you provide, and you charge from that, as well as security because you can have multiple clients, and by having multiple clients, you can secure several sources of income, as well as flexibility because now you are in much more control of your schedule. Also, I look at how to earn the most for your consultation, suggestions, and expertise. And before craft an offer, it's important to recognize and align yourself with a platform or a niche that is already on demand, and of course that you have interest before craft the offer. And then solely focus on provide value to the client, overly deliver value to the client because no one is obligated to hire you, and it is your job and your job alone to hone into that specific niche. Develop a rockstar solid offer backed by your reputation. So, with that, uh, also look at the mistake to avoid, especially when you're building your consultation career, which is choosing a service or choosing uh, a niche that is not on demand, and the other is not taking your business seriously. So, what are the type of projects that a consulting can work? You have strategic, where you're going to outline is all the different uh, business strategy to help that client reach their goal. The improvement, you're gonna plan to improve certain areas of operation and implementation. So you're going to deliver the strategic and improvement you recommend. In one, for example, in my particular case, I am more on the uh, improvement and implementation. A client actually a client on Upwork recently contacted me over the platform uh, because they want a hand to fix and improve that particular application. Okay, so uh, because I was hired to only improve certain areas of operations, I add value to the client by creating a strategy here. By I also conduct a research, and even though that the client doesn't want to pay for that, but at the end of the day, he will. I outline that strategy to know where are we heading, and also to show that I am not another just consulting that does the bare minimum to get by. So I also look at some productive tips on how to have more consulting success. It's like use time blocking. So this actually is like that. So use time blocking. Don't do multitasking. Stick your schedule. Organize your desk. So block distracting sites. Find a way to get you into the zone, and don't forget to take break, which is very, very important. Also, when it comes to decision making, recognize the importance of using the Eisenhower matrix. What are the things that are important and urgent, and do that today? The things that are important but not urgent, schedule. Things that are urgent but not important, delegate, and ultimately things that are not important and urgent, don't even think about it. And this is something that I started to apply this slowly, but progressively, not only for the business decision making, but also for my life as well. So then I look at the section two, or the module two, which is getting started as a freelance consultant. Here is to, well, recognize your strengths and weakness, especially uh, your strengths are anything that you have experienced, you excel, or you have interest in. So capitalize on your strengths and also focus on your weakness, my friend. So it's important, for example, when it comes to identify your strengths and weakness, capitalize on them, as I mentioned before, as well as recognize what are the type of consulting, your style, your working style, okay? And that is, it can be whether one-on-one consultation or a specialized service, as well as training and teaching, okay? Remember to protect your business at all costs. And now, to get started as a freelance consultant, first identify a niche. Down niche, bro, down niche. So this is something great, especially for your business, but not for your entirely brand. So choosing a niche, okay, you can have a specialist and a generalist. It's important to recognize is the characteristic of a niche that is a group of people that have a large problem to solve. There are people that are uh, actively looking a solution for that, as well as there are people that are willing to pay for that solution, and it must have, or it must be something you have interest in. And also, when it comes to avoid certain mistake, to align yourself with a niche, it's like you got to stick with that niche forever, or uh, you're targeting multiple niche at once. You're copying others, and you're not thinking it through. Now, once you identify your niche, then it is important to also recognize is your platform. And recognize your platforms is, well, you must be an expert of that particular platform to stand out. So for example, if you have the marketing, it has a digital, it have, if you think of the marketing as a funnel, you have at the top of the marketing, which is the entire industry, the marketing, and then you narrow down. You once you go down the funnel, you have digital advertising, and then you go down. You have uh, uh, or website or web advertising. Going down, you have pay per clicks until you reach a platform that allows you to do that. For example, Google ads or any other social media platform ads tool, right? Whether it's TikTok or Twitter, you name it. So, but in my case, as a software engineer, well, I'm aligning myself with this platform node right now. Okay, as a software engineering, you have then the web developers, and that is focused on building websites that allow them to use platforms like Node.js. So, okay, that's good. That's great because So once you choose a niche and align yourself with an established platform, also it's important to avoid some mistakes when it comes to align yourself with a platform. That you're targeting multiple platforms at once, and you're choosing a platform that is not on demand. Great. Then what? It is time to create an offer, and an offer is something that will stand up and focuses on the value you provide. Because at the end of the day, the client is paying you is for the value you provide, not how many hours you put in. Okay? So when it comes to create your value statement, it is important to make it easy and short as possible. Make your elevator pitch. So in a few sentences or in a few words, explain what you're capable of. So once you create that, it's also important to outline is the scope of the work, what you're gonna do, and that is define clear deliverables, be huge in communication, and ask your client how consulting success is going to be measured. Okay, which is something that I'm going to do with the client. Okay, so how consulting success is going to be measured. Because if you can measure, okay, because if you can measure, you cannot know what's going on. And then I look at that a great offer is not only one single offer. In fact, it's a value ladder of offer. And by looking at the value ladder here, okay, broadly speaking, uh, it's important that not copy this exactly, but it also can help you as a recipe where you can now negotiate with your client. So you can start with a consultation for free to do some client fact findings and see if you are the right person to solve the problem. And if it is, then you can push the client up the value ladder to start to charge them, let's say, for a project audit, $500. And this is just to put some money in your pocket while you can outline is a different roadmap to takes and identify is the client needs and expectations. So once you do that and the clients agree with that, then you can push up the value. You can push the client up the value ladder. Okay, where uh, here uh, you can do, for example, or you can offer is a 10-hour or 15-hour, 10-hour package. So the whole point of this is to align yourself with the client and their needs and take time to deep dive into that content and into their projects. And ultimately, the holy grail of all of this consulting is to have recurring clients. That's the end goal of this. So also, it's important to create a simple service agreement to make you look more professional. And when it comes to now find and land high-paying consulting clients, well, first identify things to miss or avoid two mistakes when you getting started, which is building your portfolio, paying running ads, and not focusing on your skills, because after all your client is going to use your past experience and your reputations, your past review to decide if they want to work with you. And also choose projects that align with your interest. So, especially when you're getting started, uh, first uh, make so treat your client like if they were your trial client. Okay, so be clear about the what you're going to offer, even though you're new to the field. So tell them that even though that you're new to the field, you are driven to provide results to build your image as a consultant. So you need to adjust your price at the beginning, okay? And also be transparent and reach some mutually beneficial agreements. So place where you can find these clients, whether it's an Upwork, this on-demand platform to connect freelancers with clients, or your existing network, which is something that it will vary depending on where you live. And that's one of the great things that internet has opened up the the so internet has opened up a worldwide window of opportunities for this. Remember that, especially when you're starting to create your business and growth, as you grow, it's important to know how to tame this beast, this animal. Uh, in and it is important to do that because if you're not prepared, you if you're not prepared for that, you can get burned very quickly. So rely on tools like CRM, which is customer relationship management, such as HubSpot, that allow you to keep track of interaction that you're having with your potential prospect or sell leads, client, as well as schedule meetings, take notes. Uh, the whole point of this is to develop business relationships with the client. So you're not gonna do one project once in a blue moon. No, no, no. You are is developing long-term business relationship here. I also look at how you can use, for example, HubSpot, and also other place where you can find and land high-paying consulting clients are employment side. Even though that this doesn't align 100% to consulting, but it can help you to give you some momentum, put your foot in the door to gain and capitalize yourself, and as you move down the line you can now switch to the consultation. And also some tips to consulting sorry some tips to consulting is that remember that this is a numbers game. Focus and ask yourself, what am I doing today, and am I doing the best possible to move forward? Very, very important. And show your face. It is important to create a distinction between your digital avatar from yourself. Then I'll also look at some consultation sell tips, which is tips that help you to improve as a consultant, such as be an active listener. Listen what the client say. Perhaps the client is if not telling, perhaps the client is not telling you the truth. Um, Read the body language, read between lines. So the more you're able to do this, and the more you're able to listen to the client, read their body language, you can see all of those fact findings, and from there kind of guide you the entire conversations to land that client or to solve the client's problems. So listen more, to be an active listener. Also use speed. So especially when a client contact you, reply them quickly. Use solution selling process, something I'm going to explain later, and add free value. It doesn't mean that doesn't mean to work for the client for free. In fact, is to go above and beyond what your competitors are not doing. You can say, "Hey, I already put this together for you. Can I move forward with this? I just want to know about your thoughts about this." In my particular case, I add free value to the client by tell them this. Hey, give me 2 days to ask ChatGPT, develop a roadmap to learn the basic concept of Shopify, and from there, I will like to have a meeting to discuss more detail about it. Okay? So the client, after that meeting or during that meeting, I explain the bigger picture of Shopify, as well as the Shopify application. So the client see the value that was adding for free of charge, no charge, and then he hired me and set these boundaries or set this hourly rate, 50 hourly rate or 50-hour week. So with that, okay, now uh, when it comes to the solution selling process, which after all is diagnosing the client needs or opportunity, and then offer the right product and service to solve the challenge they're having. So this particular journey or this roadmap of solution selling process start with this prospect journey where you start to find your right clients, you start to get in front of them to get their attention, and then you qualify them once you have all of these clients to see who is a good fit for you and understand if the client needs an expectation. And this is all about asking the right question. This is also important to be in the present. So slow down, hit the break at the moment. Okay. If everything went well, then you can do a video presentation or a video call, demo call, discovery and demo call to do even more fact findings once you already send your proposal to see if, hey, can we work together or this is gonna end, or if is this gonna end right there, uh, or this is gonna end right there, so I can move on to the next project. So if the client agree that, hey, all right, send me some more information about this, then now this is when you add the value and send the proposal to the client, which is exactly what I did. Just exactly what I did. After the first demo discovery call with the client, and I tell them, uh, hey, give me is 2 day to ask ChatGPT about develop a roadmap to allow me to learn the basic concept of Shopify. And after that, I send the proposal. So my initial proposal was 10-hour package weekly, but the client said, hey, you know what? Okay, 50, that'll be good. All right, cool, awesome. I think also if he feel pity for me, who knows? But yeah, so this is the process when it comes to identify, start to offering your solution, the solution selling process. This works for any business to business operations that need a tailored custom, that need a tailored solution. So for example, things like sell out of the box that doesn't require any sell methodology, so that it doesn't work. It's like to try selling sand on the desert or trying to sell water on a river. It's like good luck. Uh, so with this, sell tips for consultants. Uh, I also look at how you can tackle all of the objection that might arise. This is, well, objection that can be boiled down to time, budget, or money. So value, time, and money. So it is the problem is the money. Well, you can adjust your price. Very simple with the client. If the objection is value, you can provide them with past experience of that. If you don't have them, well, you get trying to sell yourself after all by lowering your price and focuses in on over delivery on value to the client. And if the objection is time and you are the right guy or the right gal for that job, well, you're going to charge them vastly while solving their problems. So then, once you know how to tackle all of objections, you land the client, it's important to know how to secure payments and how to claim uh, payments. So once you get the service agreement signed, then you outline and you secure the payment method, whether it's quarterly, hourly, you name it. Then is when you started to provide your consulting service. And this is something critical for a lot of the freelancers out there because they're not good at that. They're not, so they don't secure that. They don't have control over that. And this is a common mistake among freelancers or consultants. So when you know how to secure the client payments, it's also important to know how to handle your invoice. Again, you're looking yourself now as a legitimate business. So platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, or Freelancer, they actually handle that for you. But if you contact a client outside of this platform, you can use the Sohobooks or Sohobook, QuickBooks, or PayPal to issue this personal invoice because you need to get serious about money and you don't want to get ripped off by the market. So remember that the ultimate goal of this, okay, so once you find the right client, you know how to send the service agreement that outline key aspect like the project timeline, the overview, the scope of the work, terms and terminations, agreements and compensation. Once you know how to send that to the client, you get that service agreement signed, uh, and uh, you start to gain some traction with the clients to provide value with the client. Remember that the ultimate goal of this is to scale to multiple clients. So by doing that, you secure yourself by having multiple sources of income, multiple clients from different industry that allows you to uh, deliver value to those clients. And remember to deliver a top quality product because your reputation here is everything. And people spend on things that they trust and like. So, with that huge overview, and understand that referrals is a key to growth as well as is love. So you have referrals, use a customer relationship management for that, as well as always get lead for your sales funnel for your business. And remember to repeat the process. Remember to get business leads, show them value, build up your reputation, and repeat. Okay. So now that you know how to find and land high paying consulting, it is actually moment, or it's actually time to learn how to conduct a research and gather quality data. So remember that data is something very important and powerful because it can inform, persuade, reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. And because of that, it's important, especially when you're conducting a research for a consulting project, to recognize the most valuable source of data to the least valuable. So the first party data, data that comes from the company, that usually, so you usually have to sign an NDA agreement. So for example, if you're working on platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, or freelance, by default, by signing the terms and conditions of those platforms, you are agree to follow an NDA agreement. So once you know and once you sign this, you can now have access to the first party data, data from the company, to see what they have done in the past and how they have been performing, because from there you can now provide much better your suggestions. Then the other is the second party data, data that come from trust sources, sources that have great record of research report, peer review, uh, so they are not anonymous. And then the third party data, data from aggregate sources, data that you can verify the quality of this, especially because sometimes they are behind to some paywall, uh, and you can check the author of, or you can check every single author of that. So when do you know what are the most valuable source of data when you're conducting a research? Then it is time to know how to do that. So for the broad perspective, first, see things from different perspective. Play devil advocate with yourself. Second, gather as much relevant information possible. Keep note and take notes and keep record of every source you obtain. Qualify the quality, or qualify or evaluate the quality of those sources. And don't forget to circle back with the client. So Paul Mendes actually made a quick research on a tourist website that, from their point of view, which is something that put in their marketing goggles, first he looked at their particular website, okay, and it understand is uh, yeah, first look at the particular website, uh, to understand is what are the to understand what this company or what this website is offering of the products and service, and then go into the specific by start looking at the prices, category, review about the company itself, what makes this company unique, because this is something that you're going to use down the line in your consulting. If you can have access to the first party data, that's great. Okay, so once you conduct the research based on their personal brands, on the products and service, the pricing, the category, now it is time to do a competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry. And that is, see what they're doing and see what you can learn from them by making a keyword research. So this keyword research here, right, uh, will be helpful in to understand what's going on in that industry by using keyword tools online uh, to do that, whether it's from Google or any other online keyword tool. So once you do that, this keyword research based on these keyword tools, online keyword tools, now it is time to, on top of that, research about worst news to get up-to-date data and see how everything that you have researched, what is most likely to work today. And that is see where this industry is going and how this industry is adapting to regulations. So, which is something that I did from this particularly own project that I conduct on the e-commerce, or this particularly research that I conduct on e-commerce to understand more about the e-commerce, as well as uh, as well as so what is in e-commerce? Looking at the particular source from Amazon and Shopify. So Amazon mentioned that the e-commerce refers to all aspects. Uh, E-commerce is a trade of good and service over the internet, while Shopify mentioned that while e-business refers to operating all aspects of an online business, whether it is marketing, conducting market research, developing marketing strategies, creating marketing campaigns, marketing, managing social accounts, sales, do sales calls, uh, or contact sales leads and prospect, do sales calls or video presentations, contact, renegotiate contract or negotiate contract, as well as close deals. The finance, keep track of every financial interaction, creating financial reports, keep track of taxes, as well as the human research, recruiting, so contact and recruiting talents, administrating benefit and salary employees, providing training and teaching to employees, and solve conflicts among employees, operations, where they are responsible for creating or improving existing production process, setting quality standards, among other things. The IT, creating software, creating computer networks, design and implementing software applications, provide technical support, ensure data security. The customer relationship, addressing clients' inquiries, administrating and managing refunds and customer complaints, provide technical support, as well as check the customer satisfaction. And the research and development is the uh, sorry, and the research and development is, well, creating and developing new prototype or improving existing one, creating patents. So this is all the aspect of operating an online business, but the e-commerce refers specifically to the trade and good of service on the internet. So the different actors involved in this e-commerce are government, business, and consumers. The most widely type of e-commerce or business model is the business to consumers. such as retailers, digital marketplace, subscription service, online travel and booking, ordering birth, or in this case, ordering food and delivery service, business to business, such as uh, online marketplace, tax filing and payment systems, international trade and custom clearance, license and applications, as well as business to business payment solutions, the consumer to business, such as freelance work, survey or online surveys, reverse auctions, crowdfunding, user generated content. When it comes to the government, we have the government to business, such as procurement portals, tax filing and payment uh, tax filing and payment systems, business registrations. Uh, oh no, sorry. For the business to business, I mistake that. I rolling mistake. So from business to business, you have is digital marketplace, EDI, electronic data interchange, wholesale e-commerce, online portals, and business to business payment solutions. And now from government to business, you have is public procurement portals, tax filing and payment systems, international trade and custom clearance, licensing and permit applications, business registrations, and for the government to consumers like tax payment portals, driving license and vehicle registration, passport applications, as well as ordering birth and death certificates, payment of utility bills. And now for consumers to government, online petitions, online donations, payment of fines and fees, licensing and permit applications such as fishing licensing or permit hunt or hunting permits. So once I know that, how all of this relate to each other, and also to improve my communication skills in that regard, then I saw is this competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry. Amazon, Alibaba, eBay, Shopify, IKEA, Walmart, and then the keyword research to know what's going on in that industry, especially for keywords like e-commerce, where Shopify has predominant, according to keywordtools.com. So where Shopify has a predominant uh, presence for like this. So Shopify has a strong presence on this keyword, right? Also look from Amazon, such as Firestick, Alexa, Amazon gift cards, Alibaba, Alibaba wholesales, Alibaba online shoppings, AliExpress, uh, Alibaba products, Shopify, like Shopify store, themes, website, POS, or point of sales. I wasn't aware of this until a couple weeks ago. So Shopify website design is also important, as well as eBay, where you have eBay gift cards, eBay coins, eBay shoes, eBay books. So once I conduct that research, okay, and after that I need to do the up to date news, which is very, very important after you conduct this. So to understand where this industry is going, so you can rely or leverage with tools like Statista, which is a think tank that makes market research. So this is something pending, okay, to do. So once you know how to conduct a research, it is important to know how to create visually engaging presentation, because at the end of the day, the client wants to know how you came with that conclusion, and that is by showing you the different graphs with statistic and show them the meaningful patterns that you as a consultant set a precedent that you're not just another consultant that does the bare minimum to get by, but also that you know what you're talking. And from there, the client can decide if they want to work with you or not. So first, to before creating this report, it's important to know what you're going to put exactly in your presentation. Put the most relevant data first, because you don't want the client start to forget what the important thing was, and no one wants to see it in the presentations to find out that all the good stuff were or are at the end of the presentation. Uh, so by showing you the first by showing them mo- by showing them the most meaningful data first, and then explain with different aesthetics and charts. This is how you create your report. Also, if you have recurring clients, don't forget to use template for that, and charts and different graphs, and understand when you can use this graph and different charts, right? So for example, like bar charts, when you want to see show when you want to see change in times over time, or to compare different categories. uh, Pie chart, when you want to make a comparison, or when you want to make a part to a whole comparison, whether it's with continuous or discrete data. But this is more impactful for a small data set. Okay. uh, Line graph, when you want to see time series relationships. Great for trends, acceleration, decelerations, and volatility, as well as the area chart, which is like it's a line graph but with volume, so you can represent another variable here. Again, to see time series relationships. Also, I look at the scatter plot, where you want to see the relationship between items based on two set of variables. Uh, Great for showing correlations of large amount of data. Again, correlation doesn't mean causality, but there's a whole new different video. So scatter plot, bubble charts, which is a combo mix between the scatter plot and the area chart. Great for displaying nominal comparisons or ranking data. So for example, on the g-axis, you have time spent on the internet. On the x-axis, on the g-axis, you have time spent on the internet, and on the x-axis of age, and each bubble, uh, depending on the color, represent is gender. Okay, so you have bubble charts, and also look at the heat maps, where it's great for showing categorical data that can be grouped in different classes, whether it's nominal data or ordinal data. Ordinal data are data that has an inherent order, uh, such as income brackets, such as income brackets, uh, education level, high school, associate diploma, bachelor degree, master degree, doctorate, job seniority, entry level, junior, mid, senior, C executive, customer satisfaction. So poor, fair, good, very good, excellent, as well as star ratings, 1 to 5 stars. And when it comes to nominal data, which data that doesn't have an inherent order, such as cars, ethnicity, color, fruits. So with heat maps, you can show this categorical data using intensity of color that can be represented on a data map, on a data table, or on a map. So for example, you can display is based on the US state, what are the country that produce the most dubstep music, for example, you know, and also I look at the uh, geomaps when you want to see distributions of data distribution on a map. So for example, you want to show is the different retails that a particular brand has. Okay, you have geomaps and also tables when you want to compare uh, sales representative, sales by sales representative, or where a blog view are coming from. Also the waterfall when you want to show performance over time, as well as pictogram to show statistic with icons. And it's important to recognize what are the tools that allow you to leverage your report, whether it is Microsoft Excel or Statista, Google Trends, Canvas to regenerate your reports. Don't forget to make it easy to follow and see how others are formulating that data, because when it comes to this data visualization, it is crucial to make it easy to follow, uh, be organized, and compare to benchmark. And never after you present your data, lose that or use unprecise numbers or outdated data as well. And when it comes down to explain that, okay, some communication tips for consulting is to break down complex topic, especially for people that don't hold a background on that, and you have to rely on a lot of industry mumbo jumbo. Okay, so break down and make it easy to digest to your audience. Also, make sure that you understand the target, or you understand the goal. Show that you understand the goal. Avoid any miscommunication, and remember to tell the truth. Recognize what is the client working style. For this client, it rely or it prefer to work on how do you say that? Yeah, for this client, so this client prefer to work on, yeah, this client prefer to work on Slack, do as little meeting as possible, which is something that I align with that. So recognize is the working style and the communication habit of your clients, as well as keep track every interaction that you having with your clients. Don't forget to be a team player. send briefly updates to that. Um, and remember that if you want to build recurring clients, the whole point of this is to use something called the A/B testing, where A is the control, your unauthorized version or your original version, and B is the treatment, the uh, expected optimized version of that. So you can do as many tests as possible as you want, but some best practice are do one test at a time and test one variable at a time, as well as make minor change. As well as make minor change. Split your test randomly and do this test simultaneously. And before of that, decide on how important is that test. So remember to measure that over time, and remember that the ultimate goal of the A/B testing is to deliver the best value and also secure long-term client. So because right now, this is at the current step with the client, okay? So I'm going to measure my progress. So there's a couple things that I'm going to tell with the client today. So how consulting success is going to be measured, and do this A/B testing, A/B A/B testing, which is do one test at a time, test one variable, and make minor change. Yeah, and make minor change. Okay, so that'll be all for this video. All right, take care. Bye bye.